Hashtag IAmAHooligan is the new LGBTQ battle cry after Russia and Ukraine. As the LGBTQ plus community watches the nightmare of Russia's invasion of another democratic nation, Ukraine, we all feel powerless in some way of what we can do about it. Putin has raised a new Iron Curtain and is trying to curtail all free expression and speech in Russia to manage the lies he is telling his people about what he is doing to the world.
It all seems so familiar with what LGBTQ is experiencing in the metaverse of Donald Trump, radicalism, Tallahassee, and other state capitals, our schools, book bans, and more. So last night, when an editor at state-run Channel 1 Evening News staged a simple and brave act, it told the entire LGBTQ community,
protest is simply standing up and voicing what is right and wrong. Being watched by tens of millions on the live broadcast of Russia's evening news, Marina Ovsyannikova rushed into the camera view holding a sign that read,
"No war, stop the war. Don't believe the propaganda. They're lying to you here." Moments later, the cameras turned away, but it was done. Russian news agency TASS reports she has since been detained.
Worldwide reaction is growing, including millions of social media posts and even congratulations from Ukrainian President Zelensky.
Public reports by the Russian government said the act is a strange word, hooliganism. We are the LGBTQ plus community, and by the way, we completely agree.
the fight for marriage equality is hooliganism. Hashtag IAmAHooligan.
The fight for LGBTQ plus rights in schools is hooliganism. Hashtag IAmAHooligan.
The fight for trans healthcare is hooliganism. Hashtag IAmAHooligan.
The fight during ACT UP, during the AIDS crisis, is hooliganism. I am a hooligan.
The fight at Stonewall and passage of the Equality Act is hooliganism. Hashtag IAmAHooligan. And the entire LGBTQ plus community stands for Ukraine.
Absolutely. It's devastating. And, you know, Putin wants to execute all the gays, and it's horrible. I can't imagine being in that kind of war zone where you have that extra target on your head.
They implemented this afternoon. I don't know if you've heard the news. This was done live last night. I read that this was comparable to only having NBC in Russia and everybody watching only NBC in Russia live when she did this. So tens of millions of people watched it. They've implemented a 7-second delay on the broadcast that took place today because they won't allow this to happen again.
You know, I think it's interesting. I think the word hooliganism, it's archaic to us, but I think it might lose something in translation. But this is the same charge in what they called Pussy Riot, the Russian group that was detained and arrested several years ago. They were arrested for hooliganism. And I just want to say, if you don't know what Journalists Without Borders does, go have a look at it. Pause this broadcast, have a look at what Journalists Without Borders stands for. It is holding up or doing the best it can to promote free speech and free journalism around the world. It is so very important.
Twitter, we were just talking about this before the show went on the air. Twitter is all ablaze over this, of course. And in the LGBTQ community, so many people are making the intersection of what we're watching in terms of trying to suppress speech and control society in Russia with what we're watching here to the LGBTQ community. You know, we've all talked about it. Students, book bans, don't say gay, and trans right organs, Idaho's, that we're going to talk about in the show tonight. That it is so similar that it is an overt effort to control speech and thought.
Well, they're murdering reporters who were over there. They don't care that, you know.
Today was the first reporter that was lost during this war, and I think we all remember now that journalists, true journalists, are putting themselves on the front lines or uncovering these things. We get to share stories here, and there's people out there putting themselves in harm's way to bring us those stories.
You know, also last night there was an intersection to these two stories of what's going on in LGBT in America and what we're watching Putin and Russia do. Because the most popular thing that was watched over the weekend in Russia that had to do with America was Tucker Carlson. They're playing Tucker Carlson excerpts endlessly, translating it into Russia of how Americans are supporting what Putin's policies are. It's quite distressing. But we echo, we stand with Ukraine.
Absolutely.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Lara are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out television network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ+